And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. We're into January now, January the 2nd. How are you? I hope you're feeling good. It is, well, to me, it's downright cold because it's 32. It's freezing. But don't worry yet. There's colder weather to come, and we will talk about all of this coming up this morning. Now, a big word, a big buzz throughout the communities everywhere. Is there going to be snow? There could be, but in all honesty, we got to be honest about it. It's slim pickings. There's still a chance, but we've got two models that show, no, there's not going to be snow, and then another that says possibility. We'll work on this. And we're looking at that defining it down to somewhere around January 9th and 10th for East Mississippi. Again, we're a week out, and everything can change at the drop of the hat. But at this point, I would not bet the farm on there being snow. Does that make sense? So we'll talk about all that this morning and what the chances are and the odds are as you will get into this of who's right, who's not. GFS says it is. The European model, which most things are based upon, say no. Canadian model also says no. So we'll take a closer look at it and watch it. Anything can happen, but don't go to believing people that want to scare you. There's a lot of that out there. Up and coming, so much to do today. Odie's back in the house. He's wearing, is that turquoise?
Turquoise. That's what we'll go with then.
It's aqua turquoise, something like that. Yeah. His wife picked it out. We all know that.
Probably so.
So says most men. I've picked out one shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not real good at fashion sense. My wife sort of picked up I've never changed in 30 years. We'll be right back. Let's go get a good word. Let's straighten today out. Let's head out to First Baptist in Collinsville.
In the music industry, there's a saying that kind of goes like this: the recording doesn't lie. In the studio, you record yourself playing instruments or singing to build your song. When doing so, you will often listen back to what you just played or sang to see if it was a good take or a bad take. The recording you listen back to is raw. There's no auto-tune, there's no effects to make it sound the best it can. It's purely your talent on display. It exposes your strengths as well as your weaknesses. You may sound out of tune vocally, or you notice you did really well on guitar but couldn't keep up with the rest of the band on your guitar solo. Whatever it is, the raw, unedited take reflects your skill level perfectly. You see, Proverbs 27:19 says this: as water reflects the face, so the heart reflects the person. Instead of the analogy of recording music, the writer here uses imagery of looking into water as a mirror. A still pond or even a mirror reflects back to you your face. It's not going to make you prettier or more handsome. It purely reflects reality. In the same way, your heart reflects your true self. What you do and what you choose reflects your inner character, no matter what you try to portray on the outside. Just as a mirror or still waters reflect our face, and just as the recording process reveals the reality of our musical abilities, our hearts reflect the true condition of our lives. So take time today to examine what your heart truly reveals about yourself, and ask God to align your heart to reflect a life that brings glory to Him. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Hey, good morning to Thomas watching us there from Lucedale, Mississippi. Salute. As we begin our headlines across America, and we'll get to the tragedies that have happened, we see that one of America's largest Christian radio stations is being sold. New York City is where it is. It will go off the air February 1st. And I can guarantee you that the owners are doing the, what do they call it, the jig, the dance? They're kind of hard to get rid of. They're not what they used to be. And all radio stations, what we're seeing that across America, they still work. It's kind of, I would relate it to like an alarm clock. It still works, but, well, nobody buys them. So don't let that be shaken up of what's going on with that. Most everybody does their music from here now. It's a different world that we live in. We all know that. It's just a part of what is evolving as newspapers fade away into the darkness. We do see in New Zealand overnight, and this is concerning. We see that two New Zealand police officers were run down. One was killed. Same thing that we're going to talk about that happened in New Orleans. Sad that we live in a state like this, isn't it? Let's see here. Boy, and it is, always rank this as Paul Harvey got one of these. Do you remember the highest civilian award that given to someone, the congressional panel, where the president comes out and puts that around your neck, that Medal of Honor, and citizens get those? We got one from Mississippi getting one, and then Liz Cheney also getting the other. Liz Cheney and Benny Thompson from Mississippi will get that from Biden because of their in-depth work they did on J6. We'll leave it at that. As we move forward, what else do we have happening this morning? Do you remember, she's been identified, and again, this was done by an illegal person in our country. The lady that was set on fire in the subway, she's been identified. She was 57 years old from New Jersey. She didn't do anything to deserve that, and I apologize before I say it because it's not a name that I say very often. We'll try to say it right. Debrina Kawam. She was from Toms River, New Jersey. We pass along condolences to her family. It's one of the most awful deaths that you could die. All done by someone that even was not a citizen of the U.S. We see that a CNN anchor has passed away. I don't watch CNN enough to know him by name. A guy named Aaron Brown. He was 76. We pass condolences to his family as well. We give a 21-gun salute on this as we mark the passing of a 103-year-old. He was a Navy medic who survived Pearl Harbor. Harry Chandler, we salute you as he passes away. We also have the oldest living Olympic medal winner, 103 years old, has passed away. She was also a Holocaust survivor. Hungary is where she lives. Angus Collette, I believe is what her name is. She was 103, survived the Holocaust. My oh my. We see the footsteps in North Carolina of what just happened in Washington, D.C., as we saw that on the federal side, there were 40 people on death row. We saw Biden step up and do away with 37 out of the 40. North Carolina governor's done the same. 15 people have been cleared and will not be executed now in North Carolina. He is hoping to do away with the death penalty. Now, I don't have the names in the cases, or I would read them all, of what they did. We can't bring back those lives. Justice needs to be served, yet we have those who are not letting that happen. That's my opinion. You may not agree with that. Fruitcake has been arrested, and I think I can say that pretty strongly. A reporter has to do his job, whether you like what they do or not, what they have to say. They still have a job to do in public. Colorado is where it happened. They were doing a story, and the 22-year-old reporter was attacked by a man yelling, "This is Trump's America now." Whooped up on the reporter. He's been taken into custody. There's other words that I could use, but we'll back away from. This is... I don't know how to word it. There's the facts and then what I believe went on with this. We see that a Georgia judge has been found deceased in his chambers from suicide. It was his last day. He went into his chambers and committed suicide. He had won he had the highest number when you had the vote, and then and then they had the runoff. And he was upset that only 6% of voters turned out, and he lost. He couldn't deal with it.
Wow.
And he left a note saying that he cannot believe that the justice of such a important job could be decided by only 6% of the voters. He took his own life. Wow. He was in his 70s. He was 74. That's sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that should urge you to vote. It's not going to change anything what he did. To most, it will never bring any awareness. It's just another page, another day, and life goes on. But he is right. I agree with him on that. 6%, 30% should not decide. I mean, we'll never get everyone to go vote, will we? A fugitive that was killed in Ohio has been linked to a 1981 slaying. She was 18 years old. DNA and things are pointing that he had a large dealing with that. That's a long time ago, wasn't it? 1981. We go to Murfreesboro, Tennessee for this next story. Let me say this because I've requested body camera footage that I have not been given from the Meridian Police Department. I had to request it twice, and both times I was told that it didn't exist. As pressure mounted, I finally got back a response that said, well, it did exist, but we've taken it out and put it in an employee's file. I was lied to. Now, here's the question of what do I do at this point? The ethics committee, I can turn it over to that. We may do that. You don't lie and say one thing when you know it is a lie. I was lied to. Point blank. We do not have a registry, and this is why I'm involved in all this. We do not have a registry of police that don't need to be on a police force. If you are allowed to resign, then no one knows the incident ever existed. Body camera footage would prove exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a point to all of this. If you've got somebody that's a bad apple, all police departments need to know about that. I was told that this particular file that I was requesting is putting into a HR file, and I could not view it. It's serious. It's very serious what was done in Meridian. So goes with this story here. A disgraced Tennessee police chief. He was forced to resign over sexual charges that happened in the department. Oh, and by the way, in Meridian, they were allowed to resign, which means they can go anywhere. This guy here, that was the police chief, which is a bad apple, has now been arrested for stalking. There's bad people in every job, and those that don't need to be there need to have a mark to where other law enforcement know this. It's the facts. It's what goes on every day in America. Some things are hidden, aren't they? And that's the facts. We're going to get deeper into this of what happened into New Orleans. And I've watched, because I had people that were there. There's videos that have been sent to me that I know that were in that area. And I've watched the video. Have y'all seen that? Where the truck turns the curve? Well, the police, and again, I wasn't there. I'm not someone who leads the police department with that, but they said that in the end, they're admitting now that maybe security wasn't as good as they thought. Their measures weren't good. They were redoing the pieces that are bolted to concrete where you can't turn to go in. Yeah. They said, well, we had police cars set up to where they couldn't do that. I've watched the video. Yes, there is one car. Then in front of it, it looks like a cattle gate in front of it. Which we have them here that you can pick. You've seen them that you can pick up with one hand. He turns the curve in front of the police car, and down the road he goes. We almost need in these large cities, because there is bad people, and y'all know this as well as I do, like they have at military bases to where they can hit a button and concrete comes up from out of the ground and blocks it. That way you hit the button and go back down, and you can still use the street as a normal during everyday operations. But when a big event, any town that's got a thing that's going to hold a Super Bowl, or New Orleans, L.A., New York, we need to have measures like that. We need to rethink our security. We have bad people in this world. And he just went right on down the street and done this. The measures were not there. They were rebuilding whatever they bolt to the ground, but they were not in place yet. Will the Sugar Bowl happen today? That's questionable. It may be pushed one more day. We don't know yet. The Super Bowl is going to be played in New Orleans, if I'm not... But what about Super Bowl? Where's it going to be played this year?
I'll have to look and see.
I almost thought that the Super Bowl also might be played in New Orleans. I'm not sure. We'll check on that. I'll get Odie to look that up. But whatever the case is, we really need to fortify America now. We are facing enemies within. This guy was an American citizen. Have y'all paid attention to all this? About a year ago, he transformed to a new religion, Islam, however you want to say that. And he, way of thinking, went southward, so to speak. Such a sad, sad case for these in Mississippi.
It is in New Orleans.
It is in New Orleans. That's coming in February, Super Bowl.
Yep.
We better have something done in between now and then. Again, we had a Mississippi girl. She was 18 years old that was run down and killed. Mississippi. We have somebody from Tuscaloosa, I believe, that was involved in that. People from all over, all walks of life, at 3 in the morning were killed for no reason. Fruitcakes is what I'm going to call them. And the more we get into this, and we'll touch some more on this morning, they have not caught the accomplices. There is believed to be 4 others. I'm for putting the Sugar Bowl off another day until we know more.
Oh, yeah.
It's my thoughts. We don't need that many people. I know it's an inconvenience, but we don't need that many people without knowing for certain. And what happened at Trump Towers in Las Vegas is tied together. The cars were rented from the same place. There's a lot of tie-ins on this. We need to get this figured out before we move forward, I believe. Coming up, we're going to do weather. That's next. Very important. We'll do that next year at the Scotty Ray Report.
This is going to be our biggest year-end clearance event ever here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia. Inventory is up and rates are finally down. We promise to save you thousands on any of our new inventory. From Siennas to Sequoias, Camrys to Corollas, Tundras, Tacomas, no matter the model, we will not be undersold. We want your business. With interest rates as low as 1.99%, top dollar value for your trade-in, and thousands off all of our inventory, Doc's Toyota is your clear choice for your next Toyota purchase. So come see us here at Doc's Toyota in Philadelphia, at docstoyota.com or on Facebook. And remember, there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
As the seasons change, so do your clothes. And Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve. Also Hulk shirts. And America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church. And nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record lows and record highs, 2023, 80 degrees. Now, that wasn't that 2 years ago?
Yeah.
23, 2 years ago? Where is time going, my friends? It was 1928 that it was a low of 12 set on today. That was chilly, to say the least. Here's our outlook for today as we look at this. 56 for Meridian is the best we'll get as we get near Columbus Air Force Base. 53, 55 as we move down the river. 61 in Natchez as it gets warmer in those areas. Across that state line is imaginary, isn't it? 56 as we get to Demopolis through Tuscaloosa. 55. Birmingham, a little cooler. 52. War Eagles are sitting at 55 today. Cold weather is in the forecast. Now, don't think it's reached what we originally thought when we made our post. Right now, it's supposed to stay in the 20s. We'll look at all of this. Here we go for today, 56, down to 35 tonight. By tomorrow, the weekend begins with a high of 57, down to 28 over Saturday, 51, 36. And Monday is when this cold weather starts to, well, roll in. 55 for a high, down to 26 that night. Pets, plants, firewood. Make sure that you have plenty of gas. You've got time to get this before we get to Monday. 24 on Tuesday night. Let's go all the way. Here we are, next Thursday. Now, this is where we start seeing our chances, and let's just be honest of this. 9th and 10th is our biggest chance of snow that we've got, the 9th and 10th. As you'll see, the forecast calls for mostly sunny skies. 46 for high, 30%, 6% out there. Friday, 47, 24 for low. We don't have those teens that we originally projected. It's Mother Nature, and it can change. But again, let me go back over this. We got very cold nights into the 20s. We don't want to forget that. But again, the chance of snow, there's a lot of people out there trying to, I don't know whether the word is scare you or excite you with an over chance of snow for our area. It's not there yet. Again, it's Mother Nature, and it can change. But we've got 2 out of the 3 models that are used to predict snow saying, no, it's not going to happen, with one saying it will. Again, it could, but we're not going to jump to conclusions just yet. It's way too early. We're a week out. We're going to wait closer. Snow is something that is not done a lot in the South, and we just don't know. Calculations can be wrong. I'm told I wasn't around in 64. None of that was predicted. And we woke up to 6, 8, 10 inches of snow here. It could happen. But as of right now, I'm not willing to go, yes, it's going to. So be careful who you're judging on this, who you're listening to, of scaring you. Just the facts of what we know. As we move on, we look at our best fishing times. Best times today. It looks like our major time will be this afternoon around 2:30 to 4:30 if you want to go. Again, high of only 56. Minor times today around 10 o'clock if you want to go. Sunrise at 6:56. Sunset at 5:01 this afternoon. If you're going out to the bushes, and again, you've got less than a month left. All that money you invested in this. Woo! And wives, be wary. They're coming back home January 31st. It's a good day to hunt, and we've got east wind around 5 miles an hour, becoming calm today. So the wind is in your favor. A major time to hunt will be this afternoon from 1:30 until about 3:35. Minor times at 9 o'clock this morning through about 10, roughly there. Again, sunrise 6:56, sunset at 5:01. If you're headed to the bushes to hunt today, those are your best times to be there. Now let's go to radar and take a look before we get ready for the big morning show today. Here's what we're showing. Absolutely nothing across the land of Mississippi, Alabama. A little bit of fog there north of Birmingham, but nothing else to speak of. Oh, over here in Georgia, Valdosta, we do have some frost advisories, and there is frost on the windshield here, but nothing major going on. Look at that. Snow up near Des Moines. We got a little bit out here around Denver, Colorado Springs, and you get into Wyoming, we've got some. And Syracuse, these areas as we go up that northeast coast have a lot of snow, but not so much here. Not something that just happens every day, is it? Now, we're going to stay on top of this snowmageddon, should it happen. We'll let you know. We'll track all of this for you and let you know as soon as we do that there is truly a chance of it happening. North of us now, it will happen as we get into Tennessee and north. We'll keep you up to date. We got coffee brewing. We're going to be back in 2 minutes or so live to bring you the morning show. Join us, won't you? We'll be right back.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.